Connection with Shade Network activated. Audio file download commencing. Files marked extremely sensitive. Strategic Homeland Division only. Agent, commencing transmission.
What's up, agents? You listen to episode 198 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division 2. This week we're talking about the Westside seasons and issues currently affecting the game. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me as always is my co-host Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Hi.
I hope you guys and our listeners have had a great week, and welcome to any new listeners of the show. First, I just want to put out a very quick message. Obviously, coronavirus is taking over most of the world right now. So, from all of us, stay safe and look after yourselves out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit weird this week because we're going to try and keep things to normal as much as possible, aren't we? We're not trying to make light of anybody's situation, but there's not much we could talk about on the podcast that's coronavirus related that you haven't heard on the news 16,000 times already. So we're just going to keep things to video games, I think. It might be.
Apart from the fact that we're kind of living the video game that we've been playing for the last 4 years, kind of, or at least like the prequel to the video game. But yeah, I kind of agree. But honestly, look after yourselves. It's some interesting times out there at the minute. It's a bit scary. Anyway, hello, Robert.
Hi.
Hey, I feel like you've been busy this week because of the virus.
Why is it the beginning of the show I just feel like a guest? Like you're interviewing me for some reason.
Because for the rest of the podcast, you don't say fuck all apart from yes and no.
No, to be fair, I ask you questions. I get yes. Or
I give you the answer.
It was all right.
If it's a yes or no answer, then I'm going to give you a yes or no answer.
Did you have a good week so far?
Yeah.
You know what you should do, Mike? You should phrase all your questions so they can't be answered yes or no.
Okay, so if I was going to redo that, which I'm not, but how would I redo that? Look.
How's your week been, Rob?
Yeah, it's been all right.
I got 3 words.
Yeah, there's no way around it. You just have to deal with them.
I've been doing this my whole life. I'm pretty good at it.
Yeah, the only other way you could do it is be like, hey, Rob, can you list everything you've done this week?
No, fuck off.
See? He's right. He's good at it.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the division.
Did you two record an episode of this podcast before I came along?
Lots of awkward pauses.
Good to see some traditions never die then, huh?
Hey, I don't know if you noticed, the State of the Game kind of followed in our footsteps this week because they also were recording from home. Huge shout out to them to still kind of keep that going during the whole lockdown that they've got in several places in Europe at the minute. But yeah, it was quite nice to see that even the State of the Game has issues like that. Say issues, I mean, we kind of choose to have awkward pauses. It's a British thing, I guess. But anyway, back on our guest. I like the way you look to your left as if there's somebody going to be there. Luke's in stitches. The thing is, we can kind of take the piss because you've been busy this week, haven't you?
Yeah,
in the division.
I wasn't looking forward to this league thing. I was like, really like, what's the fucking point? Because they already had times in the game. I've really enjoyed it.
I think I said this last week. We'll go into a little bit more detail in a minute with regards to the Westside League, but the fact of having like the reward system in place with the whole time trial aspect of leagues, I really do think it makes it a bit more interesting than what was dropped in the Kenley College stuff, because that is time trial based effectively, isn't it? The whole challenge system. It doesn't feel like it's anything like this. This actually feels like it's a challenge to get through. Obviously, with the difficulty scaling and all the rest of it that we'll talk about today. But yeah, Rob, you've completely finished your season. Your league.
Yes.
Today. I've got Luke shaking his head because he just can't believe it.
It came out yesterday.
How did you manage this, Robert? Do you want to tell the listeners?
I did I did 2 of the missions first time at like level 10. I did the last mission. It took me 2 attempts to level 10, and then we attempted to do the stronghold last night as a group of 3 and a group of 4, and that is
about an hour and a half.
That was really hard, and I did it second time solo under the 25 minutes. I did 22 minutes ish, I think.
I still think we could have done it as a team of 3 last night. And even as a team of 4, I just felt like it was getting later and later and we were just dying more.
But I think it's just proof that the scaling is out of whack, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
If I can go in solo and clear it like 3 minutes faster than when we were getting, like, yeah, it's nuts.
Something's not quite right there.
Yeah.
But you obviously didn't do it in 6 minutes, as I've seen, 6-7 minutes as I've seen on the leaderboards on Xbox and I believe PC and PlayStation at the minute.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
I think
nobody's that good. People are cheating.
I don't have the hacks.
Sweet hacks. No, but you've got those sweet stay-at-home hacks, haven't you?
Yes. I have been working from home the last couple of days.
You haven't. You've been at home the last couple of days.
No, I've been working and occasionally playing video games.
What does the defense have to say?
That was my defense.
That is your defense. How does the court rule, Luke?
No, because I had Doc.
Pretty fucking guilty, to be honest.
Doc wrote you a note, did he?
No, he said on Discord today he must have spent a lot of time doing it. Why? No, because I did most things first time.
Did you just answer your own question? Why? No. I don't know. Why are you asking me why?
All right.
Efficiently lazy, as
you
always told me.
I can think of many words to describe you, Rob, and efficient is not one of them.
I am definitely efficient. You ask my wife.
Oh, poor Cheryl.
Done. Go away. I've got some grinding to do on this game.
Oh, no.
Luke, how's your week been so far in the division?
Fine, thank you.
Okay.
I'm not sure what to say anymore.
There's not much else you can say.
Can't top that joke. It's amazing.
No, I think we should just end it right there.
I've got to admit, doing the Westside League on what was it? It was on Roosevelt. That was, I really enjoyed it, and it really kind of brought back the challenge of playing the game and playing as a team. And it was like the first kind of run was like kind of getting feels as a team of how we used to play, like in the Division 1, having that difficulty back.
Yeah,
because we played it on Heroic, and I really enjoyed that. I don't know what you guys thought, but I really liked that idea of just, people are setting up their builds. Rob's got I can't remember the name of the mask that you get from the seasons. The exotic one.
Yeah, that one.
That one.
No, I can't remember the name either.
I can't remember what the name is.
It smokes like, yeah.
The one that gives you crit hit chance, crit hit damage depending on the range of targets. Yeah. And then, Luke's running Overwatch as well, which is, it's just nice having like these team-based skills where you're all kind of supporting each other.
Synergy.
Yeah. Unlike this podcast.
Well,
everyone does what the fuck they want.
I was just going to argue that the synergy didn't work very well last night either, did it?
No.
You made it sound like it was perfect, and yet we didn't.
I don't know. Rob's team synergy worked pretty well for himself today, so
yeah, it did.
Awkward pause. Check. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to doing the other missions because we didn't really try anything else out, and we've got a bit more time because we got a little bit confused on how long the actual league was going on, because like you've got one UI system in the game that was saying like 6 days, and then the other one was like 1 week and 6 days. So it was kind of, which one is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they cleared that out in the state of the game.
Yeah.
You basically got to get to 60. I don't know what they call it. But there's a rank. Is it rank?
I think it's ranks.
So tier 60. And that will unlock all the rewards. But there's like 6 other little things that you have to do. The 3 missions, state of the game. Not state of the game, the stronghold.
You have to do the state of the game.
The stronghold and setting things on fire and then getting elite kills. Those 6 things will reset at the end of the week. So if you only do like half of them and get 30 points this week, and then do 30 points next week, you will still get 60 and fill your rewards. So you don't have to smash it out this week.
You don't actually have to... So you can just do 3 of them at max rank, and then the reset, and then just do the same 3 that you did last time?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like easy mode.
Yeah. So yeah, the 3 challenging missions would probably be the easiest and less grindiest thing to do.
Plus, it kind of splits it up, so you're not rushing to do it all in 1 week, because it is tough if you're trying to do it on certain difficulties and that. So,
well, you have to do the missions on challenging and the stronghold on heroic. You haven't got a choice.
Okay. Right, let's get down to some news anyway.
State of the game.
Okay, so this week's State of the Game focused on known issues as well as some other stuff that is going to be coming to the game to kind of sort stuff out with. There's a lot of problems, I think, plaguing the game at the minute, which people aren't very happy about, but they're trying to be a little bit more upfront with things that are going on. However, Hamish, Chris, Gansler, and Yannick all did like a video chat, as they're all kind of working from home at the minute, as per Ubisoft policy, I'm guessing. And to be honest, I didn't think there was going to be a State of the Game this week at all. I don't know if you guys thought there was going to be.
No, I didn't think there would be either, to be honest.
No, so the fact things are still running and they're still out there posting information, well done. It was nice to see it, to be honest. Though I did notice Yannick didn't blink for 45 minutes or something. That was impressive. Like that. He's done one of the best ventriloquist acts I've ever seen.
Did you see that? It was like, you know how they have underneath their name what they do? Halfway through it changed to not a ventriloquist dummy.
That could be my fault. I put that on Twitter. But first, Rob, do you want to just explain a little bit of what is actually happening, what you have to do in the Westside League for Season 1?
What? Well, to unlock all the rewards?
Well, just in general, what is the Westside League? Because we haven't really known what it is, apart from the fact that it's a time trial activity.
Well, there's 10 levels. No, 10 rewards, sorry. Is it 10?
No, there's 10 levels per activity to do in the league, isn't there?
Yeah.
But some of them are time-based, and then some of them are kills?
Yeah, there's 3 time trials. Each mission is an Outcast mission, DCD, Federal Bunker, and I can't remember the last one.
Potomac. Or
Potomac, as Mike would say.
Potomac.
Those all have to, I think 2 of them have to be done in 16 minutes to get tier 10, and 1 of them has to be done in 14 minutes. Those all have to be done in challenging. If you do anything higher than that, it won't count.
Yeah, Boris.
And then the stronghold has to be done on heroic, and that has to be done within 25 minutes to get the tier 10. And then,
which I think we could have done.
Yeah, that first run, if we hadn't wiped, we would have done it, I reckon. Then you've got to set 500 outcasts on fire. You don't have to kill them, you just have to set them on fire. So I did this by running DCD over and over again, because you get incendiary bullets drop quite often in that mission. And then you have to kill 500 elites, I believe, Might be less than that.
There's quite a bit. There's quite a bit there to do, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
If you don't have that much time with the game, like I think the time trials themselves are going to take a while, and then obviously you've got to rack up the kills. You know, this is Outcast focused, so you got to go run the Outcast missions to, you know.
But when I was doing the setting stuff on fire, I switched to survivalist, so you get the flame grenade. I found an LMG with that talent that sets that after 4 kills you get
ignited.
Yeah, that's it. You set things on fire. And I switched to the flame sticky as well. Sticky? No, what's it called? Chem launcher.
I felt like that worked really well, and I had Wicked on my backpack at the same time, but I've literally just changed it to companion, so I think we'll see how that goes tonight when I rerun it. But yeah, in other news, the Division 2 is out on Stadia. I believe that was what was that, announced Tuesday?
Yeah.
That Tuesday that was announced, kind of out of nowhere. People have been waiting for a while for that. And as we play on PC, we were kind of seeing Stadia players online last night when we were playing together in social areas, which is kind of cool. And basically, the whole idea is that you can have cross-play and this cross progression. So if you've got a copy on PC, well, you can link. Do you know if you have to buy another copy of the game? I think.
Oh yeah, you will.
Do yes, but you can actually play the game on both consoles. Is it? I don't know if you class it as a console. It's not really, is it? Streaming platform, isn't it? And then those with Stadia Pro subscriptions, you're going to be able to play the game with 4K resolution and HDR.
If you have the decent enough internet.
Yeah, it sounds insane because you've got to be able to stream the game, and then they're on about being able to share the screen in real time with co-op teammates. But then,
yeah, I saw that.
That's a lot of bandwidth to be using, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't expect you could do that on 4K. I expect that's limited to like 720p maybe.
480p.
That would be kind of cool though if they introduced that on PC. Like if I could see what Mike's doing and Luke's doing while we're playing, I would stop running in front of you when you're shooting. I
don't think that's ever going to stop. You have been pretty good this week though. You haven't been Leroying it as much.
Because I've been using a rifle.
Yeah, you've enjoyed that build quite a bit, haven't you, this week?
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to general difficulty. Last week they talked about the difficulty in the game, and they kind of stood by their guns with regards to the fact that they didn't want to change heroic and legendary mission difficulty. But obviously, I think most of the community has kind of given them feedback that the fact that the game ramps up between hard and challenging difficulty. I think we'd all agree. And I don't know. It's quite an interesting topic, to be honest, because we're now at heroic. I didn't even know we were playing heroic difficulty until we'd been and done 2 missions. Was it 2 missions we did Tuesday night? I didn't even realize because we've been running challenging for a while. Because what did you say, Luke? We're going to go do a couple of challenging or heroics or something?
Yeah, because I knew we'd been sticking to challenging because me and you would obviously not had as much time in the game as Robert had. Our builds were lacking somewhat, so I thought, right, fuck it, this week, because I forgot the league was coming out, to be honest, when I suggested this in our Facebook chat. So I was like, right, we'll stick to heroic all week. That gives us Monday night, Tuesday night, and a little bit on a Wednesday night after we've recorded to tweak our builds a bit and, get used to the difficulty. And then Thursday, we're going to hit legendary, get a 4th team member in and see if we can be either the first or one of the first in our Discord and whatever to get a legendary mission done. But as I say, I completely forgot about the league, so we'll perhaps shelve that.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I suppose we've still got to do it. So, yeah, you're probably right there. We've still got to finish it. I haven't finished one at all yet so far.
I've done. Well, I finished Rob mentioned yesterday in chat that DCD seemed like the scaling was wrong on it, i.e. that's the easiest one and the timer is one of the ones that's 16 minutes, not 14 minutes. So I did that first time in like 11 and a half minutes or something ridiculous. Just absolutely smashed that one, but I can't get anywhere near Rob's time on Fed Bunker. I'm at like almost 18 minutes and Rob's at like 13 something.
Did you do that with a rifle, Rob?
Yeah. I think that's the one that took me 2 attempts. That's the one with the chungus at the end that smashes through the window, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one that took me 2 attempts.
I'll be honest, I struggle with the bit after you've gone, you know, when you go down the lift and then you go through the air vent where you have to shoot the metal box and it stops and there's a hole in the air vent, you walk through that and then you go down to the actual bunker bit. That's got a chungus in it, but it spawns like 3 purple gunners and 2 rushers and a chungus. And that's where my run always fucks up because I either die there and have to res myself with the reviver hive. So you lose, I don't know, 30 seconds or whatever there. Plus, obviously, the NPCs can chew at you a bit longer. Or
the ninjas at the beginning are weird as well. They're not outcasts. They're like the dustbin warriors, and they like throw poison nades at you.
Yeah. Yeah, those poison nades go straight for your health as well, don't they? It doesn't matter how much armor you've got. It's just, oh shit,
They're
dead.
Nasty.
Also, fire. Fire is pretty tough, and especially on the missions that you hit. Well, on Roosevelt and with Outcasts, it's just there's flamethrowers everywhere. And we had a situation last night where I think Luke got downed, and then 2 other members one other member went down as well. I can't remember. And then I was trying to like fire on one flamethrower NPC, and then there was like 3 more swarming around the back as well. I was like, there's no way out of it. And the minute you get hit with it, it's just like, that's it. Armor, health, dead.
The fire damage on Heroic reminds me so much of the cleaners in 1.3 of Division 1. It's just obscene amounts of damage, but I mean...
It's like the green fire from...
Dragon's Nest.
Dragon's Nest, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't personally hate it though. Yeah, it's a pain. But
I don't hate
enjoying
it. It's nice that there's something in the game that can kill you that's not just, I couldn't kill that NPC fast enough because he's got 1 million armor points.
You've just got to remember to get out of it. If you get out of it and instantly refresh your armor, you're good. Because, if you sit in there and refresh your armor, then you die.
Yeah, I mean, one of the interesting things that they've said on the state of the game is the fact they like the fact that the game is challenging. And this was this week. They like the fact there's different difficulties, and these actually mean something, which I do kind of agree, because when we played like the first 2 missions last night, I didn't realize I can't remember if it was last night or the night before. But I didn't realize we were playing on Heroic, and I definitely felt like there was a difference on the APC mission for New York. Was it New York? Yeah, it was New York, wasn't it? One of the new missions, I can't remember which one it was.
Yeah, no, we went and did Wall Street,
didn't we?
Mission? Yeah, Wall Street.
Yeah, on Heroic.
That was fun, by the way.
Yeah.
I definitely died a couple of times where I was like, whoa, okay, I don't know why I'm dying so much, but it's just kind of reassessing how you're playing again. Like,
I generally think the 4 new missions, or was it 5, are harder on Heroic because they have all the new NPCs that have like slightly different
AI system,
and they're like they're a bit cleverer. Yes.
Did it. But they have actually said they don't like the sponginess of the enemies, which I can kind of understand. I felt like it's been better recently, unless my builds just got better because we've been looting more and all the rest of it and just adjusting builds. Definitely like the chunguses and the hammer dudes, like trying to shoot the armor off their heads, and the rest of it was like not fun last night to a degree. And I felt like I'm playing Dark Souls trying to roll the hell out of there.
It's just not fun when they throw like 4 or 5 at you at the same time, is it? If there's a couple of chunguses and you can be somewhat tactical about it, it's like, somebody takes the lead and says shoot the one on the right, so you all shoot the one on the right, and then obviously you move to the next one. When there's 3 or 4 of them running at you, it's just like
I don't think it's the enemy count though. I think it's the fact that they are slightly bullet spongy, which is like why you can't handle those 4 as much, if you know what I mean. Because if they reduce it, then you're like, oh, we've killed those 2. like the room with the doggos we had last week, it was like, oh shit, and then we're like focus fire on one of the doggos to kind of EMP to kill the, like, kind of pause the other ones. The other thing that they brought up was the fact they don't like that the time to be killed as a player is slightly unfair at the minute. The time an NPC needs to kill a player should be a little bit lower. This should be lethal, but it's not good, as they stated, when it can kill a player without a clear reason as to why. As when we were playing Roosevelt last night, and I saw Luke get one shot through armor and health, and you were just dead on the floor last night. I literally turned around and saw him do it, and I was just like, wow.
Invisible fire.
It wasn't invisible fire. That was shotgun point blank range.
Oh, okay.
And he just went down. And Luke was just like, I have no words as to what the hell.
Yeah, there was a bit of that going on last night.
I don't want them to stop. I don't want them to make that. I like it at the moment. I like it because you have to use cover.
I think they need to. I'm going to be honest. I think they just reduce the bullet sponginess of it slightly, and it's going to make you play differently.
No, I think just the scaling. Like if you play heroic on solo, it's nowhere near as bullet spongy. Like I can kill a Chungus fairly quickly, like not 6 mags.
If you're reducing the sponginess, then what are you doing? Are you just adding more enemies?
Well, they said last week about the scaling is slightly off, which then gets amplified
when you join other players.
When you times it by 4. So if they just change the scaling a little bit, it should fix itself.
Yeah, change the scaling slightly and then just adjust the bullet sponging or the TTK of the NPCs. But like, I still think they should be deadly because it's forcing us to go in cover. Like we're not. It was quite nice to see all our team last night playing in cover using the talents that are, Overwatch when you're in cover or Companion. Composure. Composure whilst you're in cover. It's just, I don't want to go back to face tanking everything.
Yeah, that would suck actually, because that got really boring really quickly. That's one of the major reasons I stopped playing for so long, to be honest.
Well, especially going off what Rob said, like, he's been done the seasons and it was easier solo. So keep the solo stuff as it is, but just reduce what's happening as a 3 and 4 player group onwards sort of thing, or 2 to 3 and 3 to 4 sort of thing.
Yeah, because even the scaling for 2 people is a drastic change as well.
But the sad thing is that they've already said on the State of the Game today that they're gonna. There's several ways for them to balance the difficulty, and the things that they're looking at is reducing the NPC damage output for all difficulties. I personally don't agree. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't played enough of the higher levels, but I think definitely for challenging needs sorting out. But I like the fact we have that damage there. It's forcing us to play in a different way. Like you're going forward to trigger NPCs and then you're pulling back out of there. Like we were all doing that last night, and like causing them to kind of funnel through and kill them as they come through, which was kind of cool. Other things they're on about is enemies would do less damage to players compared to the current damage output. NPC health and armor, they're going to be reducing those for group scaling. Sorting out enemy health and armor for scaling for 2 to 3 and 4 player groups based on veterancy. Adjusting health and armor based on activity difficulty. And this kind of applies to hard and challenging difficulties where enemies will have lower health and armor compared to their current values. The only exception is going to be heroic and legendary difficulty, where enemies will have their health and armor increased to compensate for the group scaling reductions to their values. Is now the time for a PTS for these things, Rob?
No. They're not that off. It's only noticeable because of the time trial thing. Like, it just makes it very apparent because it's very difficult to get under the times in a group of 4.
I just don't think anyone's going to complain if we lose the difficulty that we've got at the minute. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's a lot of complaints to reduce the difficulty, or at least the tankiness and the bullet sponginess, which I agree with. but I just don't want to lose that NPC damage that's being dealt to the players, because that's what's making it difficult, and that's what's making people's builds and team builds and synergy as a team worthwhile. And even solo, if it like if Rob's managed to do it in a faster time than someone else, there's other builds out there that people can use, because you guys are using two different builds. Like Luke's using an LMG build,
yeah,
and then Rob's using rifle build. I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Luke?
No, I kind of agree with most things you've said. I want them to tread very lightly and not do without being overly critical, not do the Ubisoft thing and swing a hammer at it and just go from one end of the spectrum to the other and just make everything too easy. Yeah, just like Rob said, just really, really minor tweaks. And if you don't get it right the first time, do it again. Really, really minor tweaks, rather than, just completely and utterly smash difficulty out the water and everybody walks around with a pistol in their hand pissing through all the missions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like really close to being good.
I agree, and I think the longer people play the game, the more they'll realise that it wasn't that far off in the first point. They were just hoping to be able to do the really difficult content within minutes of getting to level 40, which is what we said last week.
Plus, usually when you join a group in a game, it tends to get easier because there's more of you.
But that doesn't really in this, though.
But in this, it gets harder. Because I remember, like, was it like the first couple of weeks this came out, everyone's like, oh yeah, it's easier if you join a group. But I found it the opposite. Yeah, I don't know why.
I mean, they have put a note saying, compared to now, that this is going to mean that Heroic and Legendary will be harder for solo players and 2-player groups. 3-player difficulty is probably going to stay the same, which I feel like 3-player difficulty for us felt like the sweet spot.
It wasn't, it was before they did Armor 2.0.
However, 4-player difficulty is going to be easier. Don't know. I think we'll have to wait and see. I mean, we haven't played Legendary yet, have we? So
Legendary is always scaled to 4, though, right? No one's soloing that shit.
No. And they're on about changing the level 30 and World Tier 1 to World Tier 5 content. So they'll be getting reductions to lower maximum values to weapon damage, skill damage, armor. And then level 31 content will be tuned separately. And finally, with regards to balance changes, there's going to be some PvP balance changes. Was there anything else said, or is it just literally PvP balance, Rob?
Yeah, no, that was it.
That was it. Okay, so
nothing.
All PvP weapon damage is going to be dropped by 20%. PvP rifles will get an additional 10% drop. Marksman rifles will get a minus 10% as well. And it should help with the extremely fast time to kill in PvP at the minute.
I'm going to call it now. In a future patch, they're going to disable rifles being used with a shield as well.
Yeah, I'm surprised that's a thing anyway.
Yeah. Because it was, wasn't there a thing a while ago where you could use a shield and, was it Merciless? Can't remember.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, you had you had Merciless in your secondary, and you got the buff because you could ADS with the shield, but not ADS because you had the shield.
Yeah. Luke, do you want to give a bit of an update with regards to gameplay changes?
I'm just trying to get my head around what Rob was trying to say then. You can ADS with a shield, but you can't ADS with a shield.
Well, no.
Right, okay.
You can ADS, but it doesn't take you down scope because you've got the shield out.
Right, right. Yeah. No, I get it now. It's just the way you said you can ADS, but you can't ADS. I was like, which one is it? Anyway, seasonal manhunt will be changed going forward to allow progress at normal difficulty and above. This will make playing together easier, as all players will gain progress no matter what difficulty was set by the group leader. Seasonal manhunt will receive a button in the manhunt UI that will allow players to reset the manhunt in order to replay it. This will allow players to reset their progress specifically and without changing global difficulty. This also means that changing the global difficulty will not reset the seasonal manhunt, and players are required to reset it via a seasonal manhunt UI.
We'll see. Tell that to the people whose shit reset, including my stuff this week. So
it's fine, dude. We helped you smash it out.
Yes, you did. No, I didn't mind, to be honest. It gave me something to grind for, so I enjoyed it.
The Coyote's mask, which is the exotic mask that these two idiots couldn't remember the name of earlier, will drop from Coyote with an increased drop chance on higher difficulties. They are also investigating ways to provide the mask for players that have not received them, even though they have reached season rank 35.
Oh, so you're going to farm it now?
Apparently
I thought that was only happening at the end of the season. Oh, that's cool, because I've got a shitty roll.
I guess it doesn't say when these gameplay changes are coming unless they're live already. I don't know.
Oh, no, it's plan changes, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then they're still looking into providing the mask for players that have not received it, even though it's...
I just read that bit. But thanks for listening.
That's right. Finally, the plan changes. They're working on a balance pass that they can hopefully deploy as soon as possible, which will probably include all of the above. But obviously, because Ubisoft's kind of working from home, they're working as fast to fix most of the issues in the team, and then there's probably different teams working on the bugs as well. So these things are going to take time. There is a whole load of known issues and planned fixes coming. Known issues, the specialization points is still a problem. You're not being rewarded enough specialization points for leveling. There's also season progression reset, which I'm sure a lot of people have loved this week or last week.
Hive skills not working very well.
Yeah, Hive skills not working.
Low FPS in the dark zone.
Low FPS out in general in the LZ. We had that several times this week when we were taking a control point, and my FPS, like not only mine, but I think Doc's or Reaper's.
Oh yeah, there was that one control point. It wasn't no FPS. It was just like jittery,
stuttering. Yeah,
yeah.
Obviously, there's talents and gear sets not working. These are going to be sorted. Hopefully,
apparently Striker's broken, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, what is it? If you use a 50 round plus mag, it doesn't stack, or you lose the stacks.
Okay.
Over a 50 round plus mag, I could be wrong on that. I can't remember.
Man, maybe that's why I thought it was shit when I tried it.
What? Because you're using it with the LNG? Yeah. Issues affected players not being able to progress to another world tier. NPCs getting stuck. We've had we had issues with control points last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
There's a whole load of stuff to do with season level, missions, hunter puzzles, specialization weapons, seeker mines not working properly, rewards, bounty areas, and not being able to revive down to players, which obviously is quite important when you're running the time trials.
I had that when I was doing some invaded stuff. People weren't rezzing me. Well, they weren't not trying. They were right next to me, and they just weren't rezzing me.
What was the mission we played before Mike got online last night? That was
Bank Headquarters.
Yeah,
it was specifically only happening on invaded stuff, which is weird.
Yeah.
Maybe it's related to that.
Yeah, maybe.
As for bug fixes, these are planned for an update, but they need to be tested first at some point in the near future. Target intel stuck in the mailbox. Get a better postman, I guess.
We don't have target intel anymore, do we?
Well, it's been removed, so that's kind of funny that it's still spamming players. Fixed an issue that causes sticky bomb not to do damage under certain circumstances. A parallel event schedule not correctly displaying. Missing dialogues for Brazilian Portuguese language pack on Stadia. UI elements to show from developers in the language and UI settings, just like on the PTS. Ability to lose manhunt season pass progress under certain circumstances. Shock trap deploy. Hardwired gear set bonuses not working properly. That's it. That's pretty much all the bugs fixes planned, known issues, all the rest of it.
I doubt it. Yeah.
I expect there's a whole load more, but yeah. Well, I'm still enjoying the expansion so far. I'm enjoying seasons anyway. I'll admit that.
Yeah, I was really not expecting to like the League. I was very like, oh, I'm not going to bother with that. And then, yeah, it's fun.
We should also make a point that the global event starts next Tuesday as well.
Yeah. Also, not really looking forward to that, but I'm sure I'm going to find it fun.
That's the bit I'm not looking forward to.
What global events?
Yeah.
I hope it starts raining exotics because I haven't been getting many.
What's the rewards for global events?
We don't
Because
know.
obviously, like previous global events, the gear sets were tied to the global event, but
I think
they're
it's
given away.
similar. I think it's similar to the League. Like you have a rank.
All right, so you kill like fight, kind of like commendation style,
Yeah.
like what we used to do in the Division
They'll be
1.
like challenges. Yeah.
Interesting. So we get a backpack trophy.
I don't know. I can't. They did show us a UI of it, but I can't remember. And half it was redacted anyway. So
Find out next week, I guess. Okay, that's it. Ready? That's it for this week. Apart from there is one question. I think I meant to read it out last week, or the week before when we were doing our review of the expansion. I'm going to hand this one over to Luke.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Death Note Keeper asks, so what game modes would you guys like to see return to or be added to the game for PvP and or PvE? I'd personally like to see a PvP ground war 9v9 or 10v10, as I've always enjoyed the chaos in modes in games like Halo and COD. Maybe add some PvE enemies to spice it up as well. For PvE, resistance would be nice, but I'd like to see competitive PvE mode where two teams compete with two different separated areas to see who can melt a boss faster. Have a weekly rotation of different bosses, factions, targeted loot, and maybe even modifiers so that there's plenty of variety. The team that kills the boss the fastest wins, and have it so that once you're down for good. People and teams always say they have the best builds and setup, so it'd be nice to have a mode where you put your build to the test and put your money where your mouth is.
Robert, does any part of that remind you of Destiny?
No.
I was going to say the two teams taking on PvE content.
Oh right, yeah, like Gambit.
I mean,
that
not that I've
that
played
has a
it.
PvP element as well.
I don't know what game modes would I like to see return. I mean, the one game mode I always wanted in this was Domination, and I really enjoy it, but I'm not hugely.
Is it Domination where you like go from area to area?
Yeah,
yeah.
I always kind of
So like a PvP underground sort of thing.
No, we've got Domination in the game. I can't remember what it's called. Why am I not remembering what it's called right now? Because I haven't played PvP in ages in this game. And Luke's typing something, so this is going to be interesting. Probably going to get in trouble. You can see my cat, can you?
That's not what he typed.
I had to rephrase that, yeah.
How did you know I was typing anyway?
I can tell the face you make.
I was trying not to move away from a microphone and also not hit it with my arms, so I was typing on my laptop at full arm's length.
Because you turned into Jim Carrey from... I can't remember. Bruce Almighty.
No?
Okay. Luke, what game modes do you want to see come to the Division, if any? Or old ones? Return?
No.
I'd like something akin to Resistance. I quite like Death Note Keeper's idea, actually, where you do make it somewhat competitive, because Resistance was just Horde mode, wasn't it, in Division 1? So yeah, some competitive nature to that, rather than just a look who can go highest in the Resistance levels. But yeah, I'm not putting my name to any PvP ideas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like some PvE, like game modes. I don't really care about PvP game modes. What's the point? It's kind of a joke at this point. It's a meme.
I don't know. I see a lot of people say about bringing Last Stand back, but I I never enjoyed Last Stand because of the PvE. It should have been straight, like, you spend half the time fighting the NPCs, and especially, can you imagine that in this game with like difficulty in that you get like one shot by an NPC? Like, was that a player? Or I don't know. But I feel like we've been saying this for ages. Like, you want to put your builds to the test? Give us private matches and have clan wars. I know it's not going to happen and all the rest of it, but it would be nice. And then, you can be like, oh, check my build out. I've got this. And then you can do like 1v1s or 4v4s and all the rest of it. I'd like that, but chances of that happening is, I have no idea.
Yeah, because at the moment, the clans are kind of, I mean, it's good to be, you get some rewards from it. There's a vendor, and you get those 3 people that always try to be on top of the leaderboard.
I wonder who they could be this week. It's Abe this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always going to be Abe.
Smashing it.
He's like 10 million above everyone. But, yeah, there's no, like, what's the point of the clan? There isn't anything.
Well, this is why I liked, it's one of the things that I liked from Destiny. I said it, but I don't know. Just the idea of having private matches. I just think if you give people the tools, they'll bring their own They'll do.
If you build it, they will come.
It would be fun though, like to have inter-clan like PvP matches and all the rest of it. And just stick around on a Friday night with the whole but then people.
The PvP in Division isn't competitive.
Yeah, but there's a guarantee that like if Boris or
it would be for fun, like we would do like
that's exactly like that. Yeah.
It wouldn't be for it would be for shits and giggles. It wouldn't be for and that's why they haven't done it, because there's no money involved, Yeah. People will use it and make fun and have fun with it, but
I mean, isn't that the whole point of playing the game?
The only reason why people would do that is for competitive like scenarios,
I'm going to say free for all.
No skills allowed. That's what I would like.
Wouldn't happen.
Just guns.
Or skills.
No skills.
You're only allowed to go in with a healer box.
No. You're not allowed to heal.
And beat
You've got armor, you've got like 3 armor, and you just got guns. Nothing else.
I still want to see an agent versus rogue mode with predefined loadouts that have been balanced, but there we go. Anyway, that's it. Thank you very much to
Play Siege.
Yeah, that's pretty much that. Thank you very much, Death Note, for sending in the question this week or a couple of weeks ago. Appreciate it. I guess it's down to that time of the show, Robert.
Oh,
you're really awake this week.
Thanks, I guess.
You did it again. I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed you haven't descended into madness, into a husk of a man towards the end of the show this week.
I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. I am drinking.
Well, you're clearly not drinking enough or fast enough.
I've been talking too much, I guess.
I know you're on beer rations at the minute, so.
Do you want me to do my bit?
Do that voodoo that you do.
You can find us over at SITREP Radio on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, as well as our personal accounts. Send any questions or feedback for the show to sitrepRadiopod@gmail.com. You can find us on Discord. The link is in the show notes. We want to hear your thoughts on the news and the topics we covered, so be sure to leave a comment and join a discussion any of those places. Luke?
Please leave a review of the show using the podcast app of your choice. We genuinely enjoy reading them all. The feedback is excellent, and at the end of the day, it does actually help other people to find our show too. If you listen all the way to the very end of this podcast, you'll hear all the juicy details about the other awesome shows that are available on the Mash Those Buttons network. Thank you.
We do live stream as often as we can, so if you're interested in dropping by and chatting with us whilst we play the Division and some other games, you can find us all over at twitch.tv/SITREP Radio. It's been really nice of you that have been doing that and just dropping a message saying you like the show. So thank you very much for doing that. We have been SITREP Radio. Thank you for listening, agents. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sequence complete. Security protocols deactivated. Server data replaced and CPU destroyed. Terminating connection in 3, 2, 1.
You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete.